Right now, a Soyuz spacecraft making its way toward the International Space Station.
The spacecraft lifted off about a half an hour ago, carrying an astronaut and a cosmonaut to their new home for the next year. Ted Rowlands explains their historic mission.
Engines at maximum thrust.
Friday's Soyuz rocket launch from Kazakhstan marks the beginning of a year in space for astronaut Scott Kelly.
The year in space starts now.
Kelly's extended stay at the International Space Station is expected to provide essential information about how the human body holds up in space.
This is really going to help us learn a lot about the negative effects of space on our human physiology, and then hopefully we'll figure out how to mitigate that.
While Scott Kelly is in space, scientists will also be monitoring his brother, Gabby Gifford's husband, Mark, who is a former space shuttle captain. The goal is to compare how the twins' bodies differ during Mark's extended exposure to potentially harmful elements in space.
Our top risk is radiation in the deep space environment, but right after that are maintaining bone and muscle, cognitive function, behavioral health, surviving those long isolated missions in a confined environment.
Kelly has already spent 6 months at the International Space Station. If all goes as planned, he'll set the record for a U.S. astronaut for the longest time spent in space. While the risks are certainly real, the payoff is the potential to help pave the way to Mars, which would require a year and a half in space.
Risk-taking has always been a part of the space program, and always will. But in this case, yeah, there's extra risk.
Kelly was joined by 2 Russian cosmonauts on the trip up to the space station. One of them will also remain up there for an entire year. Ted Rowlands, ABC 7 News.